Bumblebee, prepare for battle. Who you calling Bumblebee, bub? Is this what y'all want? Okay, people, welcome back to, so many big boxes lately, it's crazy. To another Fwoosh overview. Today, let's take a look at the ThreeZero DLX Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime. Autobot Optimus Prime. First of all, I want to thank ThreeZero for sending this along so I can take a look at it. Everybody knows my favorite Transformer is Soundwave. He's just cool, collected, calculating, but I think everybody has to agree that Optimus Prime is the star of Transformers. And that's why there's so many Optimus Primes, but I can't grab too much because I have, 2 or 3 Soundwaves? I have 7 or 8 Optimus Primes because I guess I'm just a mark. Looking at the package, there's so much going on here. Well, that's mostly the fault of the design itself from the movies. But as busy as this looks, it works. On the side, there's some more of that flame work, a hologram, so it can't be bootlegged. On the back, is this the figure itself or is this just another shot of Optimus? All the legalese. On the other side, yeah, same thing. On the top, Optimus Prime, Autobot symbol. On the bottom, this is not a toy, only suitable for ages 15 and above. One shall stand, one shall not put it in your mouth. There's also a front flap with Velcro to open up, and you get another pretty picture of Optimus Prime, and then the figure behind transparent plastic. Where am I going with this? Big honkin' tray. Warranty sheet. I've had transforming Transformers have less instructions. Battery installation. Batteries. I'm guessing that plugs there. And I say guessing. The instructions are right there. Pretty self-explanatory. It locks in until you pull this tab. And yeah, that's supposed to do that because it's got teeth in there that don't allow you to just turn it. You have to actually pull it apart, put it in position, push it back together. Then down here, there's an unlock where you can bring it up or out. Good grief, look at this crazy thing. Looking at it straight on like this, the proportions are wacky, but that's just the nature of the movie Transformers. Optimus just has some, long legs in Revenge of the Fallen. And looking at it from way back here, yeah, it's hard to see what's going on, but again, that's the movie. There's stuff on this figure that I thought, is that accurate? Well, I guess it is. It goes by so fast, and there's so much going on that it's kind of cool to get it in static form like this to see, all the little bits and bobs. Even windshield wipers. Now, come on. There was a little assembly required with these doors on the sides, and they pop onto a ball joint right there, but be careful because those are some little plastic pieces. But the details to the robot parts, and I say robot parts, I know the whole thing's a robot, but the inner workings and the gold used and the reds and the blues and the wear and the patina, and this is just a beautiful sight to behold. Look at the scuffs here on the thigh pad. It's very natural feeling for something metal. The high point going down this ridge and here with the silvers, and it's different on this side. It's cool that it's not just mirror image. The shape and the sculpt is, but not the wear. So yeah, I like that. Same down here on the outside of the legs, and I know in these close-up shots it's hard to tell what body part we're looking at. I'm trying to call them out as I go. These studs running down, oh, so nice. On the back of the lower legs with the blues. The blues are what stands out at me the most, but it's not like the red is missing that same kind of detail. It also has the same silver showing through the red paint job, and then the flames just, oh, so crisp, so tight. That's the same on the inside of the legs. In fact, this piece was off in the package, so I can give you a better look at that all together. Focus. The blue and the red together with the pinstripes and it feels like metal, but this is actually a plastic piece. I'm not sure if this is supposed to come off, but this one was off. This one was on, but this one also comes off. So I'm not sure if that comes off on purpose to get out of the way, because there's a lot of that too. The outside of the arm, it has kind of a goldish hue to it. That plays nicely off the actual gold parts. And then up to the flames, more reds, more metal, more detail, more sculpt. The tires on the hips and then on the upper legs, it's dirty on the rim, like there's brake dust. Like there's been some actual usage to these tires. And it feels like, oh yeah, it is a rubber tire on the outside. And I guess that's the same here on the ankle. And I like how 3A goes, hey, this may be the back of the figure, but we're still going to put all the same kind of detail, all the same paint job. The gas tanks, and you can even see the hitch for the trailer hiding back under there. It's little details like this on the back of the elbow. They could have just missed this red. It's a tiny, tiny part of the overall figure, but they went ahead and painted it. They went ahead and put that detail there, and man, I just appreciate stuff like that. And there's something I missed. On the chest, there is an Autobot symbol hiding dead center. That's a nice little just Easter egg hiding in there. Up at the head, it may not be as iconic to us older folk who remember the cartoons and how he looked, but this is a good translation. We'll look at the accessories here in a minute where there's still an option for the mouth look, but for me, it's always the battle shield. It's details like this that I would have missed in the movie, where the smokestacks are sticking out the actual shoulders. It's hidden by this big plate or whatever it is. There's even soot up at the top and some blackness where the smoke's been coming out. Yeah, that's awesome. Before getting to articulation, we have to go over all the parts and pieces that move in order to make articulation possible. Like these tanks up here, they are on a hinge to go back and forth, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that has to work with the shoulder pad that's on the outside that has a hinge and a ball joint. So that comes up and around, and that moves out of the way and help to here and here and here. That's to get the shoulder moving. This was also off the shoulder out of the package. It just had to clip back on. These doors are on a ball joint. These upper ab pieces or chest pieces, they are on some kind of, I think it's hinge, because I can't get them to turn. Well, maybe it is a ball joint. There's slight turn to it, but they move up, they move down. Around the waist, there's these blue parts that are on a double ball joint, so they can come out and out, which is cool because one, it gets out of the way, and two, it covers up the inner workings once you have them back into position, which I'm assuming that's position. It looks good there. And there's also these gold canisters, whatever the hell those are. Those hinge forward and then rotate on the end. I know I'm gonna miss some things. I'm calling these Optimus's butt cheeks. Those are on a ball joint on the inside, arm coming out to a ball joint on the back, so you can bring those down, get those out of the way. The top tires are on a small hinge that'll come into play later, but there's also a ball joint out at the end. Back of the knees, there is this flap that comes out. I don't know what neutral position there is, but that's all on an assembly to get up and out of the way off screen, but that's to allow knee movement. Down on the outside of the ankle, this whole tire assembly is on a ball joint. It rotates, it goes up and down, it goes in and out. On the top of the foot, there's this that you have to remember to put back down when you put the foot back in neutral position. On the inside of the bicep, there is this hinged piece. The thigh pad is also hinged, attached at the knee. Again, that'll come into play in a minute. What am I missing? If there's something else that I find during I'll point it out. That's also one of my big gripes, and I hate to gripe. Oh, it's so posable, but it's hard to get a grip somewhere. You're always putting a thumb on something that moves, or, oh, don't want to break that off, or, did it, Especially up here. I can never get a thumb hold comfortably to turn something. Same thing down at the legs, but it's double for that because there's parts that kind of pop off. Well, that's on a ball joint. How does that work? I guess my biggie here is pushing that. As soon as you hit that, this piece pops off. You can do it here too. Again, I don't know if that's on purpose. Part of me wants to glue them in, but at the same time, it's not really rocket science to just throw them back into the peg holes. Going over that articulation, there seems to be a ball joint at the head. You can get all the way around. Then I think there's a ball joint at the bottom of the neck that doesn't give you too much side to side. It's more for back and forward. So altogether, oh, so much movement, so much tilt. Shoulder assembly comes forward. That whole shoulder assembly also rotates up, and then from there, the shoulder itself takes over. Again, you have to watch bringing it up. You're gonna crash right there. You gotta move that up, and then bring this to here. Bicep swivel, double elbow comes to here. Ball joint at the wrist gets you a lot of movement, but then there's also a hinge below that that comes to here and goes out. Oh boy, and here we go with the torso. The instructions say to pull this up, pull these away, bring these forward. You can rotate right below the pecs, but there's also rotation down at the waist. It gives you a little bit, and it is tight as hell. Oh, well, no, it does turn further than I thought. Then there's crunch to there. And it's always awesome to see the back. It doesn't break up. There's material that goes up and under to hide. There's no gap. That is always magical to me. It just goes up inside. It's beautiful. And that's the same with the top half. Just yeah. At the hip, there's actually a hinge on a bar that goes back to the leg itself. So it looks like everything's compacted in there, all on top of each other. But if you bring this forward, it actually drops down and then you can rotate this here, and you get a lot more movement. Come up to almost 90. Same thing going back to about right there, the tires running into the upper torso. Out, same thing. Rotation at the top of the leg. Double knee comes to here, and again, you're gonna watch this go up with the leg. It kind of just rides it up, but then the thigh pad's sticking out. That's why that is hinged. It closes up, acts like a knee pad kind of when it gets down to there. But when you go to straighten the leg back out, watch out for that knee/thigh pad because it'll crash right there and hold you back. Pop that forward, bring it up, bring that up, you're back in position. But you have to manually bring the back of the knee back down. At the ankle, there is rotation. And then below that, there is a drop down to the joint. You can see it gaps up really nicely, and that allows for more range of movement at the hinge that goes back and way forward. A rocker joint back and forth, very, very nice. But whenever you go back to neutral position, remember to push that back up into there. Then there's a toe joint that comes up to there. For accessories, there are 2 fists, there's 2 relaxed hands, there's 2 trigger finger hands, and then there's 2 hold the weight of the weapon hands, or like tensed hands, or whatever you want to use them for. Very tight. The hands are rubbery material, so they have some flex to them, especially the trigger finger hand. You got to get a gun in there. You can force it on there because the peg itself is die cast. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. I'm more worried about slipping and me hitting something sharp. Then it comes with 2 of these Energon swords, and just look at the detail on there. It's so crazy. You can see the writing or whatever is going on in here. Little details down here. And then the translucent orange is awesome because it's solid, or they have a paint layer here, and then out here it's more energy-like. And it's been a while since I've seen Revenge of the Fallen. Did he dual wield? For those, there's a socket on the forearm on the outside. There's a square peg, or well, the grips, I guess, for the sword. You can just, and that is secure. That is not coming loose. It does go in the trigger finger hand, but it is a loose grip. But it's Optimus Prime. A trigger finger hand needs an ion blaster. There's a little gold detail and nice sculpt all around. A metallic flake, kind of a shine to it. Oh, well, it's got some silver dry brushing too. And there's also 2 of these, but on the other one, it has this attachment for the forearm that you can unplug right here, which it helps out when you're trying to get this damn thing in the hand, because it does take some twisting and turning to try to get this all the way into the grip. Trigger finger likes to get stuck way back there. You got to kind of get it around that sculpted part and then pull forward to get it into the actual grip. There we go. Again, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I guess this is just a guard of some kind, or I don't know. It looks cool though. Then finally, the head options, and for that, they made it where you could pull the head off, which helps tremendously. You're not fighting the rest of the body as you're doing intricate little surgery on this. Like I said, there's another option for the faceplate, and there you have to pull this little piece off. There's also the side fins, and then you pull that off. With that, you put the robot mouth face on, put the sides of the head back on, and then the chin piece. And that's cool and all, but like I said, I'm kind of a classic guy. I like the mouth guard. It is kind of fiddly. These aren't the tightest. Sometimes those pop off when you're messing around, and I didn't even realize they sculpted the inside of those. There's no reason for that, but they did it. And honestly, I am scared as hell of this popping off at some point and being lost to the carpet monster. There is another feature here. Let's pop this apart, and the dome comes off too and exposes this screw. Open, damn it. Open! This comes out, and I have lost the back. There they are. This takes 2 AG-13s. Oh, I got it right the first time. And if you can't find AG-13s, they are also, what are they, LR-44s? Or Energizer 357/303s. And I thought maybe there was a button on the front, but there's not. You have to remove the dome piece. Click that on. All that for that. There you go. For that. Which is cool, I guess, but Then bringing the stand back into play, there is this removable cap on the posterior, the buttocks of Optimus Prime. That plugs right there. Oh, well, hell. This thing, with the metal and everything else, the size, it's quite heavy. Oh, well, it comes forward just a little bit. Let's try. That's no problem at all, no matter the cost. Size-wise, Optimus stands at about 11 3/8 to the top of his head and about 11 1/2 to the side fin things, which does put him taller than the DLX Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. But that Optimus Prime is more filled out, and oh, you guys know me, this is more classic inspired, so I kind of lean this way. But now having this in hand, this is no slouch. I do like how they integrated the button for the light up eyes into the head itself over here, though. I always forget how much I like this figure. Every time I pull it down, it's like, oh, Autobots. And then quite a bit taller than the Hasbro War for Cybertron Optimus, who in turn is taller than the Kyoto Amazing Yamaguchi version. Quick Google search says Optimus was 28 feet in Revenge of the Fallen, which doesn't work here, but putting him beside 112 Sculpt figures like Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper or Marvel Legends Black Panther, and he's still big. So at the end of the day, intimidating. I think that's the perfect word for this. It's that rare feeling of pulling a toy out of the box and not knowing where to start. And then after hitting poses and such, you got to go back and tweak things, close panels, bring stuff down, rotate around, make sure everything is in place. But once you get all of that in line, it is such a sense of accomplishment. The final piece is just, oh, it's so impressive. I think I forgot to mention the feet during the review. They're big, they're clunky, they're chunky, but it does so much for the balance. You can put this into poses. I don't know if I posted the picture or if I will in a minute, but he's up on one leg doing full run. No problem at all. The joints are tight, but there's a fluidity to them. You just, and well, until you crash some stuff and you got to open some panels and move some parts and pieces and then put it all back together. But, oh man, I am always so just blown away whenever I lay fingers on a DLX figure. And I don't even care for the movies that much, but these figures are so good, they win me over and make me want to go back and watch the movie. That's the power of an excellent action figure. That's the power of a company that puts this much work into, well, okay, it's not a toy, technically, or at least that's what they say. It's a collectible, but I've been playing with it for several hours now, and I want to do more. So if you enjoyed this review of a big honkin' robot, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Like I said, I am still into this one. Okay, here's something I'll grab about. I don't care for these things sticking up on the side of the head. It kind of limits the look of the poses. It's like he's constantly trying to look around himself, if that makes any sense. This one's wide open. Can see the whole battlefield. There you go. There's some negativity.